It is the Huddersfield Giants taking on the Leeds Rhinos. Huddersfield, has got to be said, were one of the surprise packages for this season. They're travelling really well. They've done some good recruiting. Kenny Edwards, Aidan Caesar, James Gavitt all coming in. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of James Gavitt from lockdown. He is huge now. He has trimmed right down. The guy is going to be more than favouring the 6 again rule if he is as fit as he looks.
The thing is too, I'm not sure if you've seen on his Instagram, he did that noodle challenge, cooked up all that ramen noodles, and it was like 12 packets of ramen noodles, put them in a bowl, and he just like ate it. He demolished the whole thing. He is a big guy, and yeah, I mean, that diet might not help if he's eating that much too often, but and I think I saw as well, he said for a snack he'll have like 2 packets, and then like if he has it for lunch he'll have 4 or something. He's just crazy, but it shows how big a guy he is and how big he can take. I think he's sort of connection again. It's a team that's recruited very well, just like the Catalans, and we have to look at Kenny Edwards and Aidan Caesar as well. Caesar, man, since he's gone to the Super League, he has been on fire. I'm not sure if he's currently leading the Man of Steel race. I think is it Paul McShane, but they're neck and neck right now. So
he's up there. He's definitely up there.
Yeah. If I had to tip right now, I'd say Caesar. However, there have been little reports that, sort of light reports that he doesn't want to go back because he is currently in Australia. He might have gone back by now, but I was hearing a little bit there that he was going back or that he wasn't. So I've heard conflicting reports. I think he'll probably go back. We haven't really heard of any NRL team interest anyway. But yeah, I think he should be pretty crucial. The thing is with me though, I'm not sold on them in this game necessarily. Just looking at the Rhinos, they've been back in great form. I don't think they've lost since that game against Hull FC in the first round where they were, taken care of pretty easily. And we look at Hull FC where they're at now. We didn't think we'd be seeing this after that game. However, Leeds look very good. So do the Giants. However, I've got a feeling that Leeds will probably get the win here. They've just looked a bit better. I need to see Aidan Caesar perform like this consistently, right? He has so far, but I know at least from his NRL days, he's had some periods where he's been a bit quieter, and I think he's never really been bad. But I just feel like Leeds are a bit more of a well-rounded team, and I feel like Huddersfield could fall into that sort of that trouble of relying too heavily on certain players like Caesar, like Gave, like Edwards. But I feel like Leeds are a much more well-rounded team, and I think that they should get the win here.
Yeah, and it's worthwhile noting as well that Huddersfield, they've released Aku Uarte. He's gone now, so they do have a vacancy on the wing. It's looking like Senior will probably take his spot. I think it'd be Ennis Senior that takes his spot out there because they are currently got Leroy Cudjoe racing the clock to try and get back. He's been out for quite some time as well, so it will be a big step up for him, especially coming back from so long and then you're straight into a new environment of 6 again where the game is faster. You've got, especially, it's going to take its toll on the older players. Let's be realistic. It's going to, and I think it's more well suited to a Rhinos pack. I mean, they've got some bigger bodies in there that will make impacts, but then they've got good rotation as well. You've got the potential of Cruz Leeming coming back to face his old side. There's been no news on that yet, and obviously, Super League do things a little different. So whereas in the NRL you've got Teamless Tuesday and all the teams are named and come out on a Tuesday, so you know who's lining up. Super League wait until about 2 days before a game, and we can't be doing a preview literally every day. So it is what it is, and you've just got to go off the form guides. But even so, on the form guides, it's pretty neck and neck. There's nothing really splitting the teams besides the fact that Leeds have posted up some really good wins, some decent results there against Warrington, when it gets Salford, big win against Hull KR as well. Obviously, the Toronto win is chalked off and null and void at this point, but you've still got to take into account that even without their first choice fullback in Jack Walker, Richie Myler stepping in there, they did look really, really good. They didn't seem to miss Walker or look a miss without him, So I would expect a Leeds win. I mean, if you go down to the last 5 meetings, it's either been Leeds by a ton or a narrow win either way. There's not really been a Huddersfield blowout in comparison to those Leeds 44-0, 30-18, a narrow 28-25-18 win in favour of Huddersfield, and then a 22-all draw as well. It's always difficult in these teams because they are both fierce competitors.
I'd be very surprised if we saw a dominant Huddersfield victory. I can see them winning, and I don't necessarily even mean dominant in terms of on the scoreboard. I feel like the game will be a very close one too, and I feel like Leeds will probably have the control for the majority of the game. However, it's just when Huddersfield get those chances, when Leeds forward starts to get a bit more tired, can Aiden Caesar ignite that spark? They will be looking to him. But as I said, there will be times against certain teams in the season where they might look to him too much to get them out of a hole or to create some magic. And it'll be against the better sides. And Leeds are going to be one of the better sides this season, I believe. And yeah, I think Leeds win this one. And I'm going to say it'll be, look, I'll say within 12 points. I think it'll be a narrow victory for Leeds, and I believe they will control the game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Huddersfield eked out a victory here.
Yeah, and it's worth noting as well for anybody that is on the punt. In the last 5, more than 40 points scored in every single game. Worthwhile jumping on that. There's always points when these two meet, whether it's a Leeds blowout or a narrow Huddersfield win. But I'd expect this one to be tighter. I still think there's going to be points, but it's going to be a tight Leeds win. I'm thinking no more than 8 points realistically for the in favour of the Rhinos. But because Huddersfield are a threat this season, they've recruited really well, they've retained really well, they're bringing some good players as well. So, and that, as you mentioned, that Gaskell-Caesar combination clicked almost immediately. It's just a case of, do Huddersfield almost become like Salford of last season, where they're relying on that half to create things and go from there? Because I'm happy for Huddersfield in the fact that they've found a half pairing that works, because they've experimented with a few. I mean, Gaskell's been paired up with Brough, he's been paired up with Matt Frawley. Obviously, he's back at Canberra now. Things didn't work out in the Super League for him, so it's good that Huddersfield now have that coherent spine that's really starting to gel, and that's part of what makes them a real contender for at least the top 5 this season.
Yeah, 100%. I think they will probably make the top 5. I think they've shown me enough early on in the year to do that. But again, coming back from COVID, it's very hard to see how teams will perform. Probably we need to see at least a couple of weeks first. I mean, the Brisbane Broncos in the NRL are a big example. You'd have to predict, at least with me, the teams that have consistently been at that higher level for a few years now. So we're talking your Wigans, St. Helens, Leeds for the most part. I'd chuck in Castleford, even Warrington. They'll definitely be sniffing around up there. But I feel like teams such as the Catalans and Huddersfield have shown enough pre-COVID to say that they're a final side. Will they replicate that? Will they be able to keep that up now that we've seen such a break? So for those two teams in particular, I'm going to be really interested to see how they go just because of this break, because it could be disastrous. If not, even if they drop in form a little bit, those other sides, Castleford's up there. We've got Warrington, who is generally a final side. So it'll be very interesting for me to see. And Leeds are back up there as well. So it'll be very tight. I can probably confirm right now, I think Wigan will be there. Leeds will be there. St. Helens should probably get back up in there. Those last 2 spots, for me, at the moment, it's hard to tell. Probably out of those 4 sides, Huddersfield Catalans, Warrington, and Castleford. For me, it'll be a combination of two of those four. I've just got to see how they react coming out of COVID.